Okay.
It might be a generational thing. It is a piece of plastic that has a loop that goes around your ankle and a ball at the other end. Imagine like a ball and chain, except it's fun. Yeah. And you circle it around and you jump over it.
And it's amazing.
Look it up on the internet. Skip it. That's what she wanted to make when she grew up. She wanted to be involved with the Skip It company, apparently. So let's hear what else she's been up to more recently.
So I grew up going to a really special elementary school in the Bay Area, a public school called Ohlone. And at Ohlone, in the 4th grade, it really felt like we ruled the school. At the beginning of the year, all of the students in my class would gather around in a circle with our teacher, Bill Overton, and we would decide what we wanted to study. And one year, Bill Overton, my teacher, the ISS, the International Space Station, it had just launched in the outside world in real life. And everyone was really jazzed about space travel. And he came in and said, you guys, what if we built an international space station in the MP room? And it was the kind of school where, 4th and 5th graders were standing up and were saying, yay, nay, I abstain. And I remember he pitched it really well, and I stood up and I said, yay. And it was an amazing thing. And the next week, the Ohlone ISS was born. And it was the kind of school where we had these things called simulations, and it was basically a giant game of pretend that lasted for 3 months, where all of the subjects were about a certain topic. So for the ISS, for math, we were cutting and measuring PVC pipe, and we were building this big model in the multipurpose room. And for science, we each got to pick what kind of astroscientist we wanted to be, and we got to wear lab coats, and I chose astroichthyonology, which is the study of fish in space, which has served me really well. And for English, we were writing these really passionate kind of soliloquies to senators about why funding for space travel is so important, and we were getting really into it. And so finally, the day comes that this is blast off, we're doing the thing, and it's the first day of the real-time simulation. And an amazing, miraculous thing happened, which was that Bill came up to me and he said, I want you to be mission control. And mission control is the coolest job in the entire thing, because you get a hat that says mission control, you get a walkie-talkie, and you get to stand in the loft and direct space traffic for the day. So I'm standing there, I'm feeling on top of the world, and I'm saying to all of these 4th graders with sheets over their heads and kindergartners trailing behind them as the shuttles that are going to the multipurpose room, I'm saying T-minus 9 seconds, go, go, go! And they're all running, and I just feel like I could do anything in the world. So then fast forward a couple years, and now I'm in 6th grade, and I'm going to a really different kind of school. So every day I walk into homeroom, and I sit down at a desk, and Miss Deether, my new teacher, tells us what page to turn to in our textbooks, and we turn to that page, and then she reads a paragraph, and then another student reads a paragraph, and then another student reads a paragraph, and it goes all the way around the room until the chapter's over, and then we have silent workbook time, and we fill in facts in our workbooks. And I'm just miserably bored. This doesn't even seem like the same category of thing. I'm this is school. We have these points that are mysterious. I don't really get it yet. We have grades that seem arbitrarily with these letters that I don't even know. I'm why isn't there an E? We're calling our teachers Mr. and Mrs., and it feels really weird. And after one class, she says, we're all in 6th grade. It's a big transition time. She says, if you ever want to talk about anything in your life, or you have any suggestions, please come talk to me. I'm really open, and I'm here to support you guys. So I'd had all these trusting relationships with my teachers. I'm thinking back to Bill, and I'm yeah, great, I'm gonna go talk to her. So I go up to her and I say, hey, Ms. Deether, I had this idea. In my old school, we did these things called simulations, and we did something with the International Space Station, and I was wondering if maybe we could do the same thing here, and I'm going on. And she, she says, no. I'm the teacher in this classroom, and I run the show here. I've been doing this for a really long time, and it's really rude for you to come up and tell me this. it's coming out of nowhere. I'm going to have to send you to the principal's office. So I'm like walking down to the principal's. I've never been to the principal's office in my life. I have this pit in my stomach, and I get there. He says, Chloe, I hear you were really rude to your homeroom teacher. I say, I had an idea for a project about my old school, and this is how we did it, and I thought it was really, and he said, that's a really nice idea. This is a really different context. We've been doing this for a really long time, and that's not how we do this here. So thanks so much, and go back to class. That's enough for one day. And I went home, and in that moment, I felt really defeated and angry and small. And so there was this big shift in my life, this shift between feeling like I had so much to offer and like I could impact the thing that I was really the most passionate about, which was school at that moment, to feeling like nobody really cared what I thought. But that's not the shift that I want to talk to you about tonight. I want to talk to you about the shift that's come with Join this year, which has in some ways been kind of a coming back to elementary school for me. The best thing about Join is that it's given me some kind of the nuts and bolts of how to do these things that I always knew I wanted to do, and never quite knew how. I didn't know that maybe if I had gotten a teacher as an ally on my side, or if I had talked to parents of the kids that I'd gone to school with at this elementary school who had also transferred with me, or if I'd talked to other students. I spent my whole high school career complaining to my mom, just coming home and like raging about my teachers. And I spent a lot of time writing angry letters to principals and trying to make my voice heard and not having a lot of success at it. And Join has given me ways to think about bringing people together to make some real change. And the best thing about my job this year is that I get to teach teenagers in the North Shore how to do that too. So I get to see them shift in the same way I have. I get to see them go from being told they can't do anything and that their opinion doesn't matter very much and that they're young and they should wait, to seeing them feel like they really can change the world and they can do these things that they once thought they could do. So I'm really, really happy every time I see someone step up and believe again that they have a voice and that they can change the world. And I'm so glad that I've been able to shift with them and to see them shift the world in small and big ways this year.
Thank you. Maybe folks didn't notice this, but Aneem, who aspires to be an astronaut, literally had his mouth open for much of that segment. It was even audible at a point. So I think you two have some talking to do, mission control to Major Aneem. It'll be great. Wow. So that's the end of our storytelling for the evening. And before we go anywhere, we have to thank Terry again for hosting us all in her home. And the planning committee that conceived us and brought all of us here today, so thanks to you as well. And I know there are not only Join staff and board members, but also other Join donors in the crowd tonight. So thank you for supporting this work over time. We really appreciate it. And I'll just say in closing that it strikes me how many of these stories link together very courageous acts. I think something about hearing about this from a child's perspective really struck home for me. A lot of my own experiences with schooling. But whether it is a teacher or the president or a lover we wish we had, I think that the courage it takes to act, to go out and make the hard choice, I never stop being astounded at how incredible that can be and what force and what spirit there lies within each of us to make those choices again and again. And how when we do, we so often find ourselves surprised, probably again and again, to be in community of people who are also making those courageous choices. So thanks to each and every one of you who have done that. Perhaps even coming here tonight was one of those courageous choices. So thank you very much. So to bring it on home, we're here in part also to celebrate Join. You could think about it very simply. Join trains young leaders to be powerful forces for social change in the world. We bring together communities to effect justice, and we work to make the Jewish community one that is more relational, more values-driven, and more a part of the world. So before anyone leaves, I have to ask you, there is a blue slip on your table. Perhaps it is underneath your bum. And I'd like you to grab it and take hold of it and take a moment figuring out how you'd like to fill it out, whether it's to come to the next Join event, to learn more about what we do, or to make a donation. Please, I'd just like everyone to do it right now before you leave. I'm just going to stand here until you all do it. Got my eye out. And then
It's your exit ticket.
I know, I'm going to get my skip it out and just skip it at you.
It's your exit ticket.
Yeah.
Teacher language.
And if you need a pen, I've got one.